high-impact exploration asset in Jamaica and a development asset in the United Kingdom, is pleased to provide an update on the analysis of piston core samples from its recently completed seabed geochemical exploration, that's SGE, survey over the Walton Marant license offshore Jamaica. United has undertaken a geochemical analysis of the 42 piston cores acquired across the Walton Moran license. The analysis has identified C4 and C5 hydrocarbons, including butanes and pentanes, in select piston cores within the headspace gas dataset. United note that these higher order hydrocarbons are not typically associated with biogenic gas systems and are therefore consistent with a potential thermogenic contribution. There's an established body of evidence for an active petroleum system in Jamaica in general and on the license in particular, including repeat satellite slick anomalies, thermogenic hydrocarbon, geochemistry from existing onshore and offshore wells, onshore and offshore oil seeps, and onshore surface outcrops. Furthermore, petroleum systems modeling suggests the presence of oil mature source rocks. The 2026 SGE survey is the first on the license to be optimally positioned using 3D seismic multi-beam echo sounder MBES seabed mapping and satellite-derived slick anomaly data. Taken together, the data are interpreted as consistent with an active petroleum system offshore Jamaica. United will integrate the results into its geological understanding and risking models, and the dataset will support ongoing technical evaluation and farm out discussions. And that is from Brian Larkin. He is the CEO of United Oil and Gas. So we have with us the CEO of Nationwide News, who has some further explanations regarding this development coming from United Oil and Gas. Good afternoon, Sir Hughes.
Good afternoon, Siobhan. Good afternoon, listeners. And I thought I would just immediately put all of this in context because already on social media, I see people celebrating that Jamaica has found oil, yes, in commercial quantities. That is not confirmed. That is not confirmed. What this statement says clearly is that United Oil and Gas has found further evidence that there is the possibility of Jamaica having oil or gas in commercial quantities. All it is saying, it is another positive in the years-long search for oil and natural gas in Jamaica. But it is not at the point yet where we can say, yes, we have found oil in commercially viable quantities. So you will notice in the statement from United Oil and Gas, there is at the bottom of the page, it says, qualified person statement. Paul Ryan, who has over 20 years of relevant experience in the oil and gas industry, has reviewed and approved the information contained in this announcement. Paul Ryan is a qualified person as defined in the guidance note for mining, oil and gas companies of the London Stock Exchange and is a member of the Geoscience Exploration Society of Great Britain. In other words, this is a statement that United Oil and Gas feels is prudent to signal to the market, to potential investors, that, listen, you may want to look in our direction now. Because in our ongoing search for oil in commercially viable quantities in Jamaica, the science is now advanced. Another step, possibly two steps, indicating what we, yes, were of the view that Jamaica has oil in viable quantities. But it is not yet a done deal for anybody to start jumping up and down to say that we have found oil in commercially viable quantities.
So it's good news, but not definitive news.
No, it's not. No.
I'm sure we'll be hearing more about this development, but...
In fact, Siobhan, I just did the while we're speaking, another check. It spoke of finding C4 and C5 hydrocarbons. Yeah, that's what the statement says.
Yes.
Yes, and I did a quick search. In simple terms, these substances, C4 and C5 hydrocarbons, are light forms of oil and gas. Finding them suggests there could be larger oil deposits deeper underground. It's like finding smoke. It doesn't mean there's a fire right there, but it suggests something bigger nearby. That is the definition, yes, of C4 and C5 hydrocarbons, which the statement makes reference to. All right?
Understood.
So I think we would contextualize the statement.
Thank you for that update, Mr. Hughes.